A fisherman, between when they're fishing, when they take a break, what is it that they do? So, a storm rolls in and they can't go fishing because they have to wait till the sea is calm. So what does the fisherman do in their downtime when they're waiting to go fishing again, waiting to get on their boat, go out there, put in the lure, catch the fish, get their lifeblood, get their purpose in life? In between that, what does the fisherman do? Well, they sharpen their hooks. See, they sit there in their shed and they sharpen their hooks. They methodically, slow and steady, wins the race. In between, while everyone is resting, they're there preparing for when that sea goes calm. They're going to go out there and they're going to catch fish. And then that's how they supply the community with food. That's how they keep the wheels churning, the cogs rolling, the machine runs smoothly, the oil is still there, it's nice and healthy, you don't have to change it. And that's the kind of thing that you have to keep in mind, is that in between fishing, you sharpen your hooks. So even when you're on a break, you're preparing for the next action. So you keep your foot in the door. Sometimes people just promote the same thing forever. 10 years go by, still promoting the same thing. No, you have to keep your hooks sharp. You have to get it in there and go catch the fresh fish. Nobody wants a rotten skeleton of a fish. Nobody wants some rotten fruit at the store. On the shelf, we want something fresh. We want something nice. That's how we get value for our money. So that's what you got to do. Well, don't you care about what the client wants? Not really. Nobody really cares about that anymore. Now it's just about getting rich. It's just about making yourself look cool. Is it even about giving people what they really need? No, it's just about tricking them into thinking they need stuff they never needed in the first place. So you go to marketing school and that's what they say. Teach a person that they're not worth anything unless they get your product. Oh, you're not secure unless you get our VPN. You're not happy unless you get our game. And you put in the coins to get the better waifu with the better stats, and the numbers go up and the numbers go up, and that's all it is. So this is worth 10 cents right here. And that's something somebody might look at me like, oh, look at him, he collects empties, and people drive by and they go, look at that bum, and they laugh at me from their life because they go and they work for the city and they do all this stuff. They think, I'm important. That person there that looks like a homeless person, he could never be important. He could never be inspiring others. He could never make a song every day for 3 years. Well, how do you know I didn't do that? Maybe I did. So everybody you meet out there, you never know who they could be. They could be there. They could be a fisherman who has the sharpest hooks in all of the land. And you say, phooey, phooey. Oh, it's like, welcome to my world. Oh, welcome, as if I wasn't already in your world. As if we're not all in the same world. It's like, what world are you on? It's like, I'm a space cadet. I live up in the space, but I still can come back to Earth when I need to figure out, my 5 senses, do a body scan. What's here? What's there? What's up? What's down? Does anybody else even know that anymore? You gotta wonder sometimes.
One, two, three, four, gotta rap real and stay hardcore. I'm into a trend because they can't run, but they sure can trend. I'm a hard to get and talk to humanistic contradictions. You fucked up within the so-called conversations. Should've put Gucci and you with it. Also a young and full of pride, like the move. I am a mom who had to sell drugs so they could survive. Man, I came between a rock and a hard place. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm a legend and I'm mid, come and go. But the world does profit. Post-humans, but there's one way to pay tribute to it.
So talented people, they have major flaws. It's like one of the hardest things is getting them to actually focus on the task. So let's use Marlon Brando, for example. He's considered like the one who started acting, and then he says things like, you look at the history, he's like, well, I like to make a woman feel safe and secure. Well, that sounds pretty good. It's like, I think any sane man who wants a woman in their life would think like that. Like, I want to keep them safe and secure. But what is the context of that? Well, he means in a womanizing sense. He was saying, I want to make them feel safe and secure so I can get into their pants. And then I'll have 15 women every month or something. Like, probably, like, it's Marlon Brando. I mean, they say H.G. Wells had 5,000 partners in his life. And the author back then was kind of like the rock star today. So what is a rock star today? Probably like 10,000 people. It's like the average person has 5 to 6 partners in their life. I've had 3 serious partners in my life. And for an autistic person who keeps pretty private, that to me is like a pretty good amount. It's like, it's not like well, no offense to people who are, but it's not like I'm a 40-year-old virgin or something. Or it's like sometimes it makes you really desperate or something. It's like, no, I've been in a relationship before. It's almost kind of nice to be single at this age because you get to focus on stuff, you get to do stuff. So it's like people are so dependent on each other. It's like, oh, I'm a strong, independent woman. Well, that's everybody should be strong and independent these days if they're over 18 years old. That's kind of what being an adult is. So, yeah, back to Marlon Brando. He says that stuff. It's like it shows how people with talent, they're flawed. It's like that's almost correct. That's almost just what a good person thinks, and that's why he can lock himself into these modes where he does some of the best acting of all time. It's like, because deep down, he's this conflicted person. He's good and he's bad. And obviously, like he said, he even admitted, fame changes you. And it gets to your head and it distorts reality. And it's actually better sometimes to live this humble, simple life, almost like an Amish person. And that in itself is a great story that's been told for ages and ages and ages. So then we look at that, and then what about somebody like Klaus Kinski? That's so flawed, I don't even want to get into it. And then he works with Herzog, and they develop all this weird shit. It's like, how do you even, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre was funded by the mafia. It's like, that's not ethical. But how do you deny it's not one of the best movies of all time? So the whole thing is so complicated and so many layers of gray in reality that people just brush that over. They're not even telling you the whole story. So here I have to go rambling it on and on and on just to fill in the details, because it's like that. It's like the universe folding in on itself, and you sound like a crazy person just trying to explain what's right in front of you. And that's kind of like the end of the book, The Time Machine. It's this thing you watch in the distance.
These nude until payday in the four-door in Alcatraz in his heyday. City payday, we can play nice all the way, yeah, we can sling dice. City payday, we can play nice all the way, yeah, we can sling dice. Rappers now tend to turn rhyme into a trend because they can't rhyme, but they sure can trend. Rappers now tend to turn rhyme into a 0 to a 10. Watch for yourself as it happens once again. In this crazy island, here in a room, no one to call when I pick up my phone. Guards and other inmates left a long time ago. Wires in my socket have long been exposed. I said, that's far beyond fix. All the misery don't profit unless we change. If you wanna take, I see we got the way, we gotta wait. In my life, you say don't give them denial. Times you wanna ball like a child. When we hit it for the side, when the eyes like a dog in the rain, I will go and just turn like a flower.
So I was watching this podcast once by the director of Shadow of the Vampire and Begotten, Elias Meyrig, I think. I'm not 100% sure if that's how you pronounce it, but he was talking about how sick people have fevers. And so a fever makes a fever dream. So sick people get fever dreams, and then they sweat out visions. And those visions change the world, basically. So that's kind of what shamanism is. So it's not even this, it's the spiritual process. It's like, are you born with it? Are you not born with it? Like, I'm not sure those answers are easy to find. All you know for sure is, like I said, you get a fever, you start sweating, and then you see things. So even if you go for a really long walk, you go for a 3-6 hour walk, you're going to start sweating and you're going to start getting visions. And sometimes we do that when we're depressed. So that's almost proof that it exists on a basic level. It's like 33% of the population actually gets depressed in their life. And less people get majorly depressed. Major depression is when depression lasts for 6 months. So regular depression only lasts usually about 3 months, which coincidentally is about how long a crush can last. A crush on a person also usually only lasts about 3 months. So a lot of things, even an idea, you get an idea, before you can fall in love with it, you almost have to wait 3 months to see if it's any good. So a lot of things are like that. It's like, even I do it all the time. It's like you just make decisions too quick, when really if we just waited and thought about it for a bit, we would see that it's much better to do that. It's a much better strategy to do that, because it's inevitable. You're going to get sick, you're going to have fever dreams, and then you're going to have a vision. And that's why once you get better, it's almost like this renewed feeling on life, like, oh, I'm better. Like now, it's like it's an extreme, like I've never had it, but I've had like really bad fevers, like meningitis, where I had to get a needle in my spine. But like, let's say you have cancer or something and you get over that, you're going to be this really strong person, right? So that's what it's like. You get sick and you get over it. So I got over my major depression. The other thing is it just kills you. Like, you don't survive because you end up taking yourself out with major depression. So if you didn't do that, then you survived. That's it. Like, so I still get depressed, but not anywhere close to what you were when you're at the worst, at the most majorly depressed. So like that's actually progress, where it's like your lows are never that low again. And that's kind of what it feels like. Like even when I get to my lowest, it's not that low, because at this age, I think you're just more emotionally stable than you are in your 20s, because in your 20s, everything is way more hormonal and your brain is probably making like 1 million neurons a day or something. Who knows? But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I will go and just get donut. Can it come with my TC? Is it because you don't even know just what you do every time? You be a flower inside the path, but you go by the short time to ask for. Rappers now tend to turn rhyme into a meme, because they can't rhyme, but they sure can me. Rappers now tend to turn rhyme into a meme, because they can't rhyme, but they sure can me. I bet you think you know what I'm trying to do. Know what I'm trying to do. You say that's the demographic that you trying to reach. You say that's the shit
universe itself is like an endless series of fractals. So I don't know if you get it, but if you close your eyes and you get those kind of kaleidoscopic patterns, like it's called close eye visuals. It's not the same as hallucinating. It's just like it's kind of like when you look in the sun and you get a dot in your eye. Don't look in the sun, but it's kind of like that where you just get these floaters in your eye that almost look like mitochondria, but to me they look just more like a kaleidoscope. So if you look in a kaleidoscope and you spin it, the world almost looks like this conveyor belt of shapes coming towards you. So if you smoke salvia and look at fractals on a computer, that's actually what you'll see. You'll see that. And if you look at sound waves, if you put sand on top of a speaker and see how the sand pops up in a certain shape, and then you put that with other shapes, it actually forms images. So it shows you how everything is a wave in reality. Like we know sound is a wave, we know light is a wave. It hits things, it reflects off of it. Same with sound. It's like sound is kind of like invisible. We just hear it. Light we can see, and then there's all sorts of other waves. There's like actually so many particles that we don't even know about just going through us at all times. Like cosmic particles, they can even cause blue screens of death on your computer. There was once 5,000 votes that appeared in a voting machine somewhere in the States, and it was actually from cosmic particles. It wasn't even a person sabotaging it. It was a weird computer glitch. So nobody ever thought of that. It's hard to think of that ahead of time. But yeah, so a masterpiece itself is like a fractal. So there's details, and you zoom in, and you keep zooming in, and it's like this infinite sequence. There's actually a mathematical code called the Mandelbrot, where if you put it in, it'll go in infinitely. So there actually is a math behind the infinite. That's what it is. Some guy was like, I don't agree with math, so he made his own version of math, pretty much. Mandelbrot. It's like this very out-of-the-box thinker. Everybody's like, you can't prove the infinite. And he kind of did. So it's not as easy as just dividing by zero. You actually got to use the fractal, which is like this kaleidoscopic shape with so many patterns. It kind of explains how it could be so complicated. So then the unified field is this place that exists inside of us all. That's like the sea of fractals, and that's where ideas come from. That's the theory, at least. I'm not saying it's 100% literal, but it's a pretty good theory because it explains how people can think of similar things sometimes, and we're like blaming each other for plagiarism. But it really could be an accident sometimes. It could be plagiarism too, but we look at it sometimes, and it's really hard to tell because ideas could come from the similar place where it's like some ideas don't really belong to anybody because they're too generic. Like the bar, all good in the hood, or sorry, up to no good in the hood. Like if any rapper says that, can you really claim you invented that? Like up to no good in the hood. Like everybody could say that. And it's just like this generic bar. You could make it a good bar if you said it in between a bunch of original bars, but it's nobody owns that bar. And that's kind of like some ideas are like that. Like fire, water, wind, and air. Nobody really owns those symbols. It depends if you use it in some exact way. Patents and copyright, that's why they're so complicated, because how do you even claim that you own an idea? Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes maybe we shouldn't even be able to do that. Maybe ideas should belong to everybody. And that's kind of what the unified field is. and where greatness really comes from, and why actually everybody has the potential to do that. It's just they might not have the confidence, they might not have the opportunities, the circumstances. You might be in the middle of a war. I'm in Canada here, sitting in an abandoned building area, and it's like nobody can bother me. So that's kind of like freedom. But not everybody is free, and that's something you got to keep in mind.